Hello Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to another Monster Jam OCD video. Today we're going to compare Mix 5 of Spin Master Monster Jam 164 scale singles to the Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks of the past. Welcome back everyone to another comparison video. These are actually very popular, surprisingly, although I kind of had a feeling they would be, with the Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks versus the Spin Master Monster Jam trucks. So you might have noticed I stopped doing comparisons in my newer mix review videos because I like to save them for this specific video type. So today we're going to look at some Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks compared to the singles mix of Mix 5 for Spin Master Monster Jam. You can see here, because Bakugan Dragonoid doesn't really have anything to compare because there's never a Hot Wheels Monster Jam version of it, I'm just going to compare some Hot Wheels designs to it. And I guess we'll just start with Dragonoid because it's already on the table and there's nothing really as important as Dragonoid in this case. So we're going to look at the Dragonoid. This is the Hot Wheels from the World Finals 18, and this is the other ones. So you can see here the... I actually meant to say World Finals 19. I caught myself. But this is the Firestorm, one of the original designs of Hot Wheels. Team Hot Wheels Firestorm. And then we also have the split paint job from earlier in the year with this one. You can see here, this is the split paint job. And then we had Hot Wheels 68 debut at World Finals 19, not 18, 19. And it had this design, this Corvette kind of style body. It might not be a Corvette, but it's that interesting body style. One of my favorite Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks, surprisingly, that they actually produced, because it's actually pretty accurate to how the truck actually looked, which is a rare sight for Hot Wheels Monster Jam trucks. But you can see here, this is the design that they chose for that year and a few other years, but I do have some other Hot Wheels designs, but I chose to kind of limit it to these three. And then also we have, of course, Bakugan Dragonoid from Spin Master, which is their corporate truck. Of course, representing Bakugan, part of the Spin Master company is Bakugan, so that's another contract, and that's kind of what they're using for their truck. And of course, we know this is not anything new. Bakugan Dragonoid is almost 1 year old, so, you know, it's pretty interesting. I love how it turned out in toy form. I think it looks amazing, and of course, it features a lot of little moving parts. If you guys didn't see my review video on Mix 5, by the way, I'll link it at the end so you guys can see more detail. But here's Bakugan Dragonoid and Hot Wheels, of course. There's no comparison here. No one wins. I think they both look equally amazing. And yeah, so there they are. The two clashing rivals right there on screen. So Bakugan Dragonoid and Hot Wheels 68. And next up, the two Avengers. So I don't really have any Avenger to compare to the Nomad body because, of course, it's the Nomad body, specialized wagon top and all that. So we're just going to compare it to a normal Avenger. I was going to compare it to World Finals 18, and I thought about it, and I was like, well, there's no real comparison between the body shape. This is pretty close to how this is, so we're going to look at that up close instead. So you can see here the front grille is kind of what I wanted to focus on. You'll notice with Hot Wheels, they never went back and casted in the front grille. This toy, I believe, has been around since 2004, so 14 years they couldn't recast it to have the front grille. That's kind of interesting to think about. So you can see here, this front grille is kind of how it should have looked for the last 14 years. So there's that, and then of course the rest of the body is not really comparable, but it has similar shape, but not completely. So you can see here the Avenger, World Finals 19 Avenger versus normal Avenger. The back. I do like that they cut out the fuel cell area, like the real truck, although there's no fuel cell there. And you can see there's a wagon top. So yeah, that's the Avenger comparison. I can't wait till they do, I'm sure they will, if they do the 57 Chevy, this body in Spin Master, I'm sure it'll have the front grille and should look something like this actually. So overall, I like this. I really like the Nomad tooling, so I hope they use it again in the future. But yeah, Hot Wheels Avenger tooling, I never liked it. Definitely lacking a lot of detail, and 14 years is really no excuse to not recast by them. So here it is, the Avenger Nomad, definitely the winner if I had to compare these two side by side. So there they are. And this one doesn't have much of a comparison because Hot Wheels decided never to make Stinger Unleashed. We actually suggested a Stinger 4x4 when it was the scorpion tail body. We suggested that to the designers at World Finals 18, and they called it quote-unquote squishy, so they never made it. And now we have the trophy truck one out there, and now it's actually a new design, but we have this old trophy truck design made by Spin Master. So I brought out a trophy truck from Hot Wheels Monster Jam, the Carolina Crusher. Again, not really comparable, but you can see the details of the casting, the differences in the company's casting. So yeah, it's unfortunate they never made Stinger, but I guess we got it more accurate than that would have been. So it's better, I guess, in a sense. So you can see here, Stinger Unleashed finally getting a release in Spin Master, and the trophy truck comparison to Hot Wheels Monster Jam. And quick little comparison between the Blue Thunder Overcast and normal Blue Thunder. So, I mean, it's hard to compare them because, again, there's not much of a comparison here. They're not the same thing. But you can see here the difference kind of in how the truck is composed. Of course, grill printing, or I'm sorry, grill or headlight printing with the new F-150 headlight inspired decal. And of course the monsterjam.com in the front grill or area down here on the bumper. And you can see, of course, nothing on the Blue Thunder from Mattel. And here's the other side. And here's the back. And of course the roof. So again, like I said, the decals are different because this is overcast, but the front I really wanted to compare. So there's the comparison between pretty much the only other difference right there. And this one's a pretty cool comparison. We have the Jurassic Attack 2 trucks from both companies. So I actually looked back at what I said in my previous video of Mix 5's review, and it actually turns out the horns are a little too big on the Spin Master one. I had a feeling they might have been, but not terribly huge. It's just the comparison between the Mattel one and this one. There's just like this little no man's land where both companies have not reached the correct horn size. These are way too thin. They should not be spaghetti noodle thin like this, and they shouldn't be I mean, it's close, but they shouldn't be like this wide and bulky. But I think it still looks better, personally, in my own opinion. I think it looks better with the bigger horns than these little stringy horns here. But if there was just a middle ground between both companies, just a little smaller on the Spin Master one, we would have had pretty accurate. And you can see here the back plate, or whatever this thing's called, is a little bigger on the Mattel one. I think it looks better when it's a little taller, like the real truck. So I have to say that this should have been a little taller in my personal preference. But overall, Jurassic Attack from Spin Master is not bad. I'm definitely not going to diss it completely. I mean, a lot of the details, like the windshield being kind of smaller and tucked in like that, that's great. The 3D nostrils, you can see the eyeballs pretty big here. So a lot of the details that are on the real truck have been captured on Spin Masters, but Mattel did a pretty good job with theirs. There's not much wrong with Mattel's at all. They did get a lot of details over the years with Jurassic Attack, but these horns, and of course these ones too, just like there's no middle ground. So I say I'm going to side with Spin Master here. I like theirs. I like the modern kind of take on it, but Mattel one's not bad at all. So there's both Jurassic Attacks. And a little quick comparison for this one. I didn't really have anything to compare this with, so I said, okay, well, maybe I'll just use the Blackout Higher Education to compare. So here's the Inverse Trucks Higher Education, of course, reversed colors. So you can see here, yellow to black and black to yellow. And this is just the Blackout from 2017. So there's Higher Education. This one was actually pretty difficult for people to find, so that's pretty interesting. It's also the only independent Blackout that they ever made, so there it is right there. And that's the little quick comparison. Not much of a direct comparison, but the colors are the same, so there they are. And a little trio here, we have the Overcast Dragon from Mix 5, black and white, of course, with the horns. And then we have the green Old Tool one from Mattel. Like I said in previous videos for these comparisons, when I'm comparing these two, there's not really a comparison built in here because this is pretty accurate to how the real Dragon looked. Pretty accurate, not super accurate, but close to how it looked, and this is how the new one looks. So there's no kind of connection. But as far as color goes, I thought this was pretty close. Again, Blackout Dragon from 2015 was a little closer than normal Dragon, but still not a direct comparison. However, if you think about it, Dragon's Breath actually looks just like the Overcast Dragon. So you can see here, Dragon from the Dragon's Breath truck looks just like Overcast Dragon. Just needs red horns and it would be perfect. You can see here, first time on camera, comparing them like that. Looks just like it. So anyway, that's the sort of comparison here between Dragon and all these other ones. And unfortunately, there's no comparison for the chase truck because, of course, training trucks are part of the Spin Master line, and the Golden Machines and Blackouts do not look like this. So this is by itself, but this is the training truck Gravedigger. And the last comparison, people want to see this one up close, it is Gravedigger the Legend. And I actually noticed a lot of mistakes on the Spin Master one compared to the Mattel one. So I have to go right away with this one. This one's definitely more accurate than this one is. But let's take a look at what exactly went wrong with the Spin Master one, and then kind of look back at the Mattel one and compare them. So the first thing that happened, and these are really small details, the ones I'm going to point out first. You can see here the Gravedigger the Legend placement of the logo covers the entire side panel. You can see the legends on the bottom of the R. This one is tucked underneath Digger, so you can see it's not completely out here, how it should be on this side. So you can see that there. That's an issue. It should be pulled out to there. And same thing on this side. The Gravedigger Legend logo just needs to be pulled out. Or this one, it actually just needs to be pushed further left, and then it would be kind of just like this. So that's the unfortunate little mishap, and I'm sure that probably just slipped through design. No one noticed it. But that's the close look at that logo. And then we have the front grille, which I must say I prefer this. I really do. It's all metal, but they didn't really need to do this little bar here because that's not how the real truck was. So it's pretty noticeable that that is there. And this one, of course, is plastic. It looks pretty bad as far as the connection goes. The color is not the same, but it doesn't have that little bar. So, I mean, we have to go with, you know, the lesser of two evils here. I have to say that this is pretty good because the way the grill looks. And I'm not sure, I didn't look this up before the video, I'm not sure which one's more accurate, the 4 little, little connectors here, or this 3 connector. I'm pretty sure the 3 one is. So anyway, that's the comparison there. I do like this little piece here that they added, the little black 3D bump here. I'm not sure what they call that. I'm sure it's the emblem for Ford or something, but they did not have that on this one. And another thing about this one is this door panel. I would have preferred it to go all the way down until it couldn't go any farther. So it still has some room, and it just looks a little cut off here. So it's a little short. This one, of course, coming down all the way. And the doors, I like them square, but the rounder doors looked a little better. And also the MonsterJam.com logo should have been added on there because there's no nothing here. So it's just a little, a little nitpicky on it. But because it's a returning truck that doesn't run anymore, I guess I can kind of criticize it a little more. And also, this one used paint or the original one. This is the first ever release of Gravedigger Legend by Mattel, but this one used paint for the blue, so you can see how shiny blue that is and dark, very in depth. And then of course this has a decal, so you can see the graininess of the decal here, and it's really bright blue. I prefer the dark blue. It's hard to tell on my camera, but in real life this is like a turquoise. This is a dark navy blue. So I prefer Mattel's over Spin Master's on this one. They both failed to do the yellow and gray rims, so that's something that can still be done in the future. Maybe if they're going to do some corrections on the body, they should do the rims, definitely fix that up. But I do like the grille on the Spin Master one and the front emblem here. But other than that, there's a lot that could be fixed about the Gravedigger the Legend on Spin Master's edition. And of course, it's a retired truck, so it's not going to be the main focus of the budget and what can be fixed on it. So I can let it slide. It's not my favorite of the case, and it's kind of, just kind of something that was added into that case to make it, kind of get released. And so it's kind of just like a little filler truck for the Retro Rebels. But yeah, so those details, some stuff that I never even caught before, and some people pointed out to me. But I do want the casting to be a little tidied up. So anyway, that's Gravedigger the Legend, and that is the comparison video for Mix 5. That has been a pretty interesting video. I think the Bakugan Dragonoid is still my favorite of Mix 5 though. So let me know what you guys think about these trucks in the comments below. Who is your favorite in this case on each truck? Maybe tell me if you guys like Mattel more or the Spin Master ones. Again, I'm taking my side on Spin Master for Legend and a little bit of Jurassic Attack, but pretty much everything else, I think that Hot Wheels did fail to do some stuff like the Avenger and all that other stuff. So anyway, with that said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. This is a random Monster Jam OCD, signing out.